Some breaking news today because we are following this story closely, hearing about a heavy police presence at an Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility. This is in Dallas. It's off Interstate 35 near Mockingbird.
Now, we sent Natalie Haddad out as soon as we heard reports. We've reached out to Dallas police, and we do have our senior crime and justice reporter, Rebecca Lopez, reaching out to her contacts as well. She's actually on her way into the studio, but she is on the line right now. Okay, Rebecca, we know you have some great contacts out there. What are you hearing?
So I'm hearing that DPD right now is looking for sniper or snipers that may have been on top of rooftops near buildings around the ICE facility. There have been 3 people wounded. According to sources, at least 3 people have been transported to the hospital. I was told by one of my sources that perhaps EMS couldn't go in immediately, and officers were transporting 1 or 2 of the wounded in their squad cars. And that's what we know at this point. They are, I don't know who the wounded are, as they have not been able to confirm that, but there was a bus of detainees nearby. We don't know if it's actually detainees that have been shot, but there has definitely been 3 people wounded, and they are looking for shooters that were possibly on nearby buildings. They're obviously warning people to be very careful if they're in that area. You see a huge police presence because they are still looking for whoever shot and wounded at least 3 people near at the ICE facility there in Northwest Dallas.
Hey, Rebecca, it's Mark Istook. Just want to give you an idea of what our viewers are seeing right now. We've got one of our traffic cameras that had been pulled up. We just lost the video stream. I don't know if that's related to a network issue or because maybe they are concerned about the situation that is visible there. You can see just a ton of first responder vehicles along that freeway. You see some of the buildings there. You mentioned that it sounds like they could be dealing with multiple shooters, correct?
Yes, and that often happens sometimes when we have a situation and an active shooter. Sometimes they believe that there might be 1 or 2 shooters. Officers are just they're not sure. They just know that there were shots fired from 1, possibly 2 buildings near that ICE facility. And you're going to see, SWAT. Eventually, you will see some of the tactical type officers out there as well as they look for whoever did this.
And Rebecca, I'm not sure how much contact you have with any sort of immigration officials, but or maybe with your sources at DPD. We know there's been an increase when it comes to threats to ICE agents all across the country in recent months. Have they been taking any extra precaution? Do you know anything like that? Are they working together?
Well, there have been obviously a large ICE enforcement type. Obviously there's been a lot of ICE enforcement recently here in North Texas. I don't know that they have actually increased any security at those facilities. I would imagine so. I have not actually heard that from any sort of sources, but they do work often with law enforcement, local law enforcement, to track down violent criminals. But it has been very well known, as DPD has stated, that they won't go out with just to enforce strictly immigration laws to look for people that might be in the country illegally, at least local law enforcement. That's prohibited by the Dallas Police General Orders. They are allowed, though, to work with federal partners to go and track down violent criminals. That they've always done that, and they've done that for decades. That's not really anything new. They've often worked together, but I do not know about the increased security for sure.
No, that's good perspective, though. Thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah, and just to update our viewers who may have just joined us, Rebecca Lopez, our senior crime and justice reporter, is on the phone with us right now. She's spoken to her sources in law enforcement who are briefing us on a situation where they're looking for at least 1, if not more, potential snipers around an immigration enforcement detention facility. And Rebecca, you said 3 people have gone to the hospital, but we don't know if those are, again, law enforcement officials or if they may be detainees as well. You're still working to get that information.
Right. I do not believe that they are law enforcement, according to my sources. But we, again, don't know for sure if they're, other employees or, who has been shot. But we do know that an initial reports that were coming out were that they were possibly detainees.
All right,
we're
Rebecca.
Still confirming that.
And Rebecca, we know you're on your way in right now, so I'm sure you'll be talking with them and getting more updates, and we'll be sure to check back in with you, and we'll see you shortly.
Thank you.
Of course, keep it right here on WFA Plus as we continue to monitor the situation. Nice to have Rebecca on the phone, but of course she needs to get off so she can make some phone calls as well.
Yeah, and she's been in this market for so many years. She's got great insight and resources from law enforcement around the area. So thanks, Rebecca, for joining us.